Shein's evil business practices has gone out of hand, and it's regrettably hurting our lives, our money, and our dignity. From illicitly exploiting children as cheap labor and stealing creative clothing designed for profit, it is only a matter of time before they destroy our communities viciously. I am TheMondli, and join me on this historic journey about the evil business of Shein. Once during the climax of the great economic crisis in 2008, Shein was bootstrapped as a domain called ZZKKO by a mysterious business magnate and IT specialist, Chris Zhu. Following this, he intrigued me with his mystique, leaving little to no trace about his private life. Unlike you and I, this helped him avoid conflicts with the Chinese government. However, his company had one concern until 2012 that I previously battled with. They lacked access to capital to secure inventories, no factories to produce clothes and retailing. Zhu's risky strategy dawned on me. It was a huge money move, but his experience in computer programming was evidently useful. Instead of establishing a traditional shopping system, customers would purchase clothes on his company's website, and his team would order them from well-known fashion factories. As a result, he changed his company's name from ZZKKO to She Inside. Just by reading the name alone, the identity of his company revolved around older working women more than men like you and me. Yet you wonder why the top 1% hate men so much that they're willing to convince women to turn against us. But at what cost? Zhu understood that business magnates like him must solve problems to build wealth instead of chasing money. From his detailed research, he discovered 3 crucial points that strengthened his relationship with his target market. Firstly, women place large sentimental value on clothing than men do. Which brings me to my second point. They want to look good and feel more ambitious about their lives. Thirdly, the presence of an exquisitely dressed woman encourages you to be hygienic, and you would be mistaken if you thought otherwise. Considering how dreadful the waiting time is for your significant other, your sister, or your mother to finish dressing up. As a result, the company was successful with their transition to online shopping, but Zhu discovered a demon he failed to eliminate from his life. He was patient with the process, but impatient with action. He found himself where people like you and I usually were at our worst moments. He lost composure and self-control, and often returned home frustrated with the slow growth of his company. Did you ever have a light bulb moment where your life turned upside down? Then picture yourself in Zhu's position, who is referred to a respected tycoon, the CEO of Jafco Asia, Yoshiyuki Shibusawa. A glimmer of hope radiated above him. He understood that his business proposal must be executed. Ironically, Zhu had no idea that his vision in ultra-fast fashion impressed Shibusawa because he worried more about solidifying their chemistry for the long term. Zhu was a master of action, but not of words. Zhu played every card from his deck and gave Shibusawa power over his fate. It was do or die for Chris Zhu, who did not back down from a fight. Eventually, he won Shibusawa over, and Jafco became Zhu's primary investor. Following this, Zhu was ahead of the curve. He hired more employees, built factories, and secured inventories to produce clothing instead of outsourcing it at an operating loss. Who would have thought that their presence in the global economy was more impactful than She Inside? As they matched their quantity and quality in fashion, Zhu changed She Inside's domain to Shein to familiarize their brand with their customers in the same way Jeff Bezos did with Amazon before it went public. Shein's foundation was solid, but needed a platform and more time to cross over mainstream media, the same way Michael Jordan and LeBron James did at their prime.
China has identified the cause of the mysterious new virus.
Coronavirus.
There's confirmation the coronavirus has reached Australia.
China is urging its citizens not to travel abroad.
Shein was like the Thanos of the pandemic. Their success was inevitable, and they wanted to shatter their limits financially to show the entire world that they too can compete with the likes of Google, Meta, and Local's ByteDance, the parent company of TikTok.
TikTok is the most downloaded app of 2020. Since its global release less than 2 years ago, TikTok and its Chinese counterpart, Douyin, have amassed 800 million monthly active users, more than Reddit, Snapchat, or Twitter. Its parent company, ByteDance, is the most valuable startup in the world.
Coincidentally, TikTok embraced their meteoric exposure to prominence for users and influencers to pass their time during lockdowns by being entertained or sharing stories of their public lives. It was at this time when you probably heard of Shein for the first time.
It's done something that Chinese companies have typically failed to do: make a globally recognizable brand. In just a few years, the Chinese brand has become a one-stop shop for impossibly cheap and decent quality women's apparel. Every day, over 5,000 new items appear on their site, and an army of influencers, as well as high-profile celebrities such as Katy Perry and Lil Nas X, have joined the Shein ecosystem.
Thereafter, Shein immediately reached out to as many fashion bloggers to post videos of them unpacking the clothing they're made.
Good news is I've got clothes for all of winter. Bad news is I'm out $600. But this calls for a very large winter Shein haul.
Massive Shine Haul, Black Friday edition.
First I got this.
This with some high-knee boots would be adorable.
Next I got this.
This is adorable.
Then, Shein noticed a huge shift in their audience. Older women no longer brought their clothing. However, younger women from Gen Z and the millennials became the backbone for Shein's glory days.
Shein haul, would be the last item of the haul. So in total, I got the two-piece, I got the pants, and I got the bag, the rings, and this dress. So that was like 5 items in total.
Consider David Curry from a business journal called Business and Apps. Shein generated $30 billion in 2022, a 91% increase from the $15 billion it made in 2021. It has an estimated 74.7 million active shoppers. 13.7 million are based in the United States alone. Shein was downloaded almost 200 million times in 2022, making it the most downloaded shopping app of that year. It was recently valued at $68 billion, ahead of a potential late 2023 IPO.
It's small order, quick response. So basically that means Shein places order in smaller batch, and then it is able to quickly adjust it based on the market performance. The suppliers will just produce 100 to 500 items as the first batch, which will take around only 3 to 5 days to produce the product. Well, if we compare that with the traditional fast fashion players like Zara, usually it will produce over 100,000 items. So by placing small order, Shein could react pretty rapidly based on the sales pool.
In alignment to this, the pricing of these products created a loop for younger women to purchase their desired clothing on a budget below or within their means for prolonged time. From silk dresses to beach bikinis to bright sunglasses and foreplay lingerie. However, Shein does not want you nor me finding out how toxic their fabric is to you and me. They are aware that you're not taught at school that you are the clothes that you wear, but warned not to judge a book by its cover.
There are hundreds of videos just like this one where these consumers pull out their Shein clothing and they read the label to find a cry for help.
2 weeks ago. So let's see. Y'all, do y'all see it? It's right there. Need your help.
These videos are currently going viral on TikTok, and Shein isn't happy about it. They are currently arguing against these TikTokers and claiming that there aren't any cry for helps on our tags and everyone's just misunderstanding everything. One viral TikTok in particular has 40 million views, and they're claiming that there are secret messages on Shein's clothing tag.
Credible UK journals Channel 4 and the I newspaper both conducted a grueling investigation into factories and both reported that Shein blue-collar workers work 7 days per week, with each person earning around $600 per month, creating clothing out of 500 pieces per day in appalling work conditions. Suppose having no problem working without recovery, but loving what you're doing. Yet, this contradicts how Shein blue-collar workers in China feel. Majority only have a day and a month to recover before reporting to duty in intoxicating environments. Is it lawful for a company to strip their laborers' identities? Can you, a viewer, reflect on how fatal missing out on your passion is? I'm afraid so. And these laborers are forced to suck it up and pander to Shein's firm, harsh regime. This wall supports why many human beings show discomfort when asked to be vulnerable. According to a detailed article by Greenpeace, the paragraph of the quality of clothing read, "The findings, which include very high levels of phthalates in shoes and formaldehyde in a baby girl's dress, prove," according to Greenpeace Germany, Shein's careless attitude towards environmental and human health risks associated with the use of hazardous chemicals in pursuit of profit. The human skin becomes what it absorbs, so when it's in contact with a toxic substance, many life-threatening health conditions, such as severe skin eczema, become apparent. Shein claims to be environmentally secure. They strongly back this with an objective to use recycled fabrics such as non-virgin fibers and recycled polyester in their clothing to conserve materials for the future. However, this is further from the truth. Does Shein care about human life at all? Unfortunately, they do not. The higher traffic was congestion in Shein's shopping, the more pressure they felt under to produce clothing faster, even if it meant using fabric detrimental to the environment. Although no information is provided about child labor in their sweatshops, Shein is extremely far from making a difference beneficial to all communities. Shein cannot continue playing the bad boy trope to impress women because everyone can see right through them. And I hope businesses such as Amazon, Tesla, Twitter, and Meta take note. If you want to make money, do not chase it, but rather chase problems that must be solved. Lastly, your business must be beneficial to the growth of your community and its economy to alleviate poverty, unemployment, climate change, and food security. And then, there's you, wondering if this documentary piece has been impactful towards your life, and that you feel that the outside world is out to eat you apart. If it is, then the notification bell is right where you are. So what's holding you back? Until then, everyone, I am TheMondli, and this is